Thanks for coming back. I'm Simon, Ratrod Garage. We're putting this together. It's a 51 Ford, if you can't tell. That's sitting behind me there. I have never done airbag suspension before, so this seemed like a good opportunity to try it. I hope I don't regret the decision, but we're gonna stick with it either way, because it's what I want, so that's what we're gonna do. I don't know how to do it. We're gonna figure it out together, but we're gonna start with the front. That much I do know. I already have the bags. I ordered them from Air Slam It. They were having a sale. They were 140 bucks. Hell yeah, that helps the budget a lot. But before we can do anything with the front suspension, we have to remove the old garbage and kind of clean it up a little bit. This is like a cross pin, king pin setup. You're probably asking yourself, why don't I go with an S10 frame, clip an S10 frame on here and have the updated front suspension and everything? The simple answer is, I'm trying to use what I got. I don't want to keep going out and buying things. I already have front suspension. It's been done in the past. It can be done again. Basically, it's saving me money and hopefully saving me a step of clipping the frame. That's the simple answer as to why I'm using the stock suspension. Am I going to regret this decision? There's a high likelihood I will. We're going to learn it together. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get it done. And we're going to be happy with the results. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Let's get going. So this is your typical coil spring setup. Upper A-arm, lower A-arm. We're gonna basically get rid of the coil and replace it with an airbag. I know it's not that simple, but in the gist of things, that's all we're doing. How hard can it be? Before you all go get up in my comments and tell me how I'm removing this spring wrong, I know. But sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. The real unfortunate part is because there's no motor or body or anything on the chassis, when you try and jack the coil spring up to slowly let it down, there's no weight, so it just lifts the whole frame off the ground, so that's perfect. But we're still gonna do it. Am I nervous at this point? Abso-frickin-lutely. It went perfect. It went exactly as I planned. See? Easy. Yippers. It appears somebody in the past has tried to get this off. They've rounded the crap off of it. So the socket won't bite on it anymore. So that's cool. I'm gonna try. I don't know, if you work in the garage, you probably have some of these. And if you don't, you should get some. I already lost them. This is an extractor set. This is an old Craftsman one. I must have bought it on sale because it only came with half of them. The case fits all of them, but it only came with half of them. I didn't lose them. We are gonna try and pound that sucker on there and get that thing off. Then we'll damn near have this thing all apart again. Once we get this all apart, then we can start working on how we're gonna put it all back together, because I still haven't got that part figured out, but we'll get there one step at a time. If I worry about how it's gonna go back together, I'll never get it taken apart. So once it's apart, it has to go back together one way or the other. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I did. Well, that didn't help either. Maybe you're not supposed to use an impact on those. She moved, so maybe it'll be free enough now that I can get it off with the other socket. We just won't overdo it. We'll just use a ratchet. Couldn't tell you how many times extractors, internal and external, have saved me on projects. So we have to replace the nut because that's not going to go back on. Are we going to tempt fate and do it again the same way I did the other side? Abso-frickin-lutely. Let's hope for good results because it's late and everybody else in the house is asleep. So if I have an issue, they'll be mad. I'm gonna stand in case I need to bail. Come on. Whoa! It's like hydraulics, it just bounced. It's a bouncing car. Yeah, probably don't try that at home. And we're not tossing these either. We're gonna keep them. You never know when you might need them for another project. I did come out and clean this up this morning. You can see this is one that's been taken off. This one's been degunked because it was bad. What I'm thinking I'm gonna do is when I raise this up, I mean, it hits on that, this is where the bump stop would mount. It hits on that, so that's gotta go because I want it to get up as high as I can. I'm gonna plate the top of this. I picked up some 3/16 plate. Remove this, so this will be structurally sound. I'm then gonna make an airbag mount, probably with some threaded rod or a bolt or something that'll come up and bolt up through the top of this shock mount hole. And that'll go up in there. And I'll probably cut some of this frame out so the bag has plenty of room around it. And then the bag can sit up in here versus down in here. I will probably end up, because I'm gonna cut steel out of this frame, I'm gonna probably restructure it. Not sure. I think that's the way I'm gonna go. It seems for me like that's my best option. I do know when you're doing airbag suspension, you don't want the bag touching anything because common sense tells me that's gonna rub a hole through and then you're stranded. Should we just go get the bags and just kind of look at what we're dealing with? Yeah, let's do that. They're 2,600 pound bags. I didn't know what weight rating to go with, so it's got a bunch of information on here I probably need to know, but we'll worry about that later. So when I go to put this up in here, obviously it's not gonna fit right now. Awkward. She ain't gonna fit. Well, I'll be damned. That is center. That is center. I found center. Going with it. One thing I wish some of these companies would do to make it easier for us amateurs is to send a template card along. Just a piece of cardboard with the template with the holes marked out in it. It could be one template that could do both sides. It wouldn't even matter. Wonder what goes in there. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Anyways, that's all I'm saying. A template would be nice, so, because now we gotta figure out, where do we put the holes? Yeah, how do we figure that out? All right, I'm giving up on the original plan of making a template, and I'm gonna try something different. So my original template plan wasn't working great. I mean, it was kind of working, it wasn't great. So we're gonna try a new plan, see how well this works. I mean, it's not perfect. We're just going for it. Screw it. I spent way too much time trying to figure this out. We had a little fire. It's probably okay. Hey folks, Simon here, Ratrod Garage. Appreciate you watching my video. If you could help the channel out and like the video and subscribe, maybe comment and share it, that'd be awesome too. Either way, I appreciate you watching it, so thanks for that. This isn't going great. It's definitely not going as well as I pictured in my head. Oh boy, this looks awful garbagey. Does it look pretty? Nah, not even a little bit. Will it work? I sure frickin' hope so. I mean, this hole is probably a little bigger than it needed to be, but I think it'll be okay. This hole is a lot bigger than it needed to be. This is tough for me. How do I do this right? I couldn't live with this one. It was just, I mean, I got low standards and it's below that. So I went and made another one. It's not perfect either, but at least the holes are symmetrical and it's not, I haven't cut too much material out that it's losing its structure. To the center of the plate, wherever that may end up being. And that'll run up and come through this shock mount hole. I'll probably, I'll have to make the hole bigger because that ain't gonna work. And this is a big bolt. I mean, she's big. You don't want anything to hit the bag, and as you can see, there's a lot that's gonna hit the bag. So we've absolutely gotta cut the frame and get some metal out of the way. That's probably step one, to be honest. Am I nervous to cut my frame? Abso-frickin-lutely. But it is just metal. We'll probably have to clean the cuts up underneath a little bit because they're a little jaggedy, to say the least. That actually cut pretty damn well. Oh, she is definitely solid somewhere. Oh, I missed the spot completely right there. Everything was on fire back here from all the grease and grit and whatever road grime was built up in here. So it was really kind of stinky and a pain. But now we got that out of the way, I think we can get in here and start slicing some of the rest of this out of here. Just keep cutting back until we got all the clearance we need. Typical favorite automotive show makes this stuff look way easier than it is. Well, at least easier than it is for me. We're gonna try and see if I got it in the right spot. There was no measuring. It was all strictly eyeballing and a marker and praying. I don't know what you're supposed to do when you can't see everything. So we are in wing it mode at this point. Okay, moment of truth. Will the bag fit? I think we got it. She is up in there. Plenty of clearance on this side. This side's a little tight. I don't know how much clearance I should have. On the back, oh, on the back I can get my whole hand up in there, so we got plenty. This is just the one side I'm a little nervous about. Now we get to figure out the bottom side. That should be easy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so happy that's in there. I mean, it's not done by a long shot, but that's a huge step for me. It's gonna be so awesome. Well, here's how we're looking. I think it's looking pretty damn good if I do say so myself. I'm sure it's not perfect, but it's gonna work. I hope it's gonna work. Let's be clear. You'll notice I opened the garage door. It's 50-some degrees out. It's beautiful out. So I thought I'd let some fresh air in here. I've been plasma cutting and welding, and that's probably not good to breathe. So, you know, we'll let some fresh air in once in a while. Where do we go from here? I'm not exactly sure. I figure what I'll do is I'll take and trace around this bag as much as I possibly can. That'll locate it on that plate, I think, I hope. Maybe not, but we're gonna try it. Once I get that located on the plate, I can figure out the bottom hole mounting scenario. So we're gonna do the old trusty marker trick, trace it out and see what we come up with. Never really thought about how I'd mark the back of it here. I mean, look at that. That's freaking perfect. That is freaking perfect. So I gotta take that back off, mark it all up, figure out where the holes need to be, drill some holes, and away we go again. I'm super concerned with how much I cut out of this frame for material, so I'm adding some support back in. I'm using the same 3/16 plate I'm using to make all my mounts out of to replate the areas of the frame that I cut out, and hopefully that'll help strengthen it up. It's thicker than the frame was to begin with, so that should help too. I'm going to do the whole inside of that pocket up underneath there. I'm not sticking my hand in there, it's super hot right now. I'm going to do that whole inside of that pocket. I'm going to plate it all, and it should be structurally sound, I hope. Yeah, it'll be fine, I think. I don't know, we're gonna do it anyways. Well folks, we are gonna make a complete full stop on what we're doing here. I had all this front suspension going together and going well and going good, and then, well, reality struck. I have to make decisions based on what's best for the build, and that decision includes removing the stock suspension, getting an S10 two-wheel drive frame, and clipping that onto the front of this frame, mainly because the motor I just picked up will not work with this setup. I could probably try and force it to work with this setup, but the parts to get this setup up to a way that is safe for that motor, it's not cost effective. So we've got to do what we've got to do, and that includes, well, S10 swapping it.